Everyone knows the basics. Spend less than you earn, save a little, invest a little. But let me ask you something. If those basic rules were enough, why are most people still living paycheck to paycheck? Here's the truth. The wealthiest 1% play by a different set of rules. Quiet rules, unspoken rules, rules that build generational wealth while the rest of us hustle just to stay afloat. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on those exact rules. In this video, we're diving into 5 financial rules you should follow, but no one talks about. These aren't tips, they're systems, habits, lifelong levers that quietly build wealth while everyone else is distracted. And we're breaking it down with 3 core ideas, 2 myths, and 1 powerful framework you can apply today. Let's get into it. Meet Tyrese. In 2015, he made $85K working IT in Atlanta. By 2020, he was debt-free, owned a duplex, and had 6 figures invested. How? He followed rules most people never hear about. Rules his peers laughed at. Rules that didn't feel sexy. But while others splurged on new cars, Tyrese house-hacked. While his friends tried to time the stock market, Tyrese maxed his Roth IRA every January. Today, he's on track to retire in his 40s. No lottery, no crypto miracle, just structure, discipline, and a different set of rules. So what's stopping you from building like the 1%? If you're tired of generic advice and ready for real strategy, drop the word wealth in the comments and hit that subscribe button. Now let's kick things off with the first financial rule the 1% follow religiously. But no one on TikTok is talking about know your cash flow like a CFO. Here's the truth most people miss. Rich people treat their personal finances like a business. And every successful business has one thing in common: cash flow clarity. If you ask someone their net worth, they might guess. Ask their monthly income, ballpark figure. But if you ask a wealthy person, they know to the penny. Because tracking cash flow isn't about being obsessive, it's about being strategic. You can't fix what you don't track, and most people's money leaks out in silence. $7 subscriptions here, impulse Amazon buys there. Before you know it, $400 disappeared. The wealthy run a monthly cash flow report like clockwork. Income, expenses, recurring payments, savings rate, all logged, all reviewed, all optimized. Start with a simple spreadsheet or an app like YNAB, Monarch, or Rocket Money. But don't stop at tracking, analyze. Ask, what can I eliminate? What can I automate? Where can I redirect this into wealth building? Knowing your cash flow doesn't mean being frugal. It means being intentional. It means aligning your spending with your vision. And here's the kicker. When you master cash flow, everything else becomes easier. Investing, saving, even lifestyle upgrades. Because now you're in control, not just reacting. The 1% aren't winging it. They're running their money like a CEO runs a company, with clarity, precision, and discipline. So before we talk about investing, debt, or wealth building, we get the foundation right. Because rule number 1 is simple. You can't grow what you can't measure. Coming up, the next rule will change the way you think about earning money altogether. Now let's talk about the next financial rules you should follow. Build income like you're building equity. Here's a hard truth the wealthy understand. Trading time for money keeps you capped. But building income streams, that's how you escape the ceiling. Most people are taught to get a job, earn a paycheck, and repeat for 40 years. But the 1% approach income differently. They build it like equity, like something that grows without needing them to clock in. That could mean owning assets that produce income, like rental properties or dividend-paying stocks. It could also mean creating something once that continues to earn, like a digital product, a book, or a business. In the book, Manage Your Money Like the 1%, which I highly recommend you read, the authors talk about income diversification as the engine behind financial resilience. The more streams you build, the more control you have. But it starts with shifting your mindset. Instead of asking, "How much can I make this month?" ask, "What can I build this year that will pay me for the next 10? You don't need to be a tech genius or influencer. You need consistency. A teacher can sell lesson plans online. A mechanic can build a YouTube channel. A nurse can invest in REITs. The 1% look for leverage. They use time, money, and skill to create assets that earn while they sleep. So if you've been stuck on the income treadmill, it's time to build the machine. Because this rule is clear: stop trading hours. Start building income equity. And speaking of building, Rule 3 is going to tackle the biggest mindset block keeping people broke, even when they earn well. Let's get into Rule 3. Save to invest, not to feel safe. Let's clear something up. Saving money is not the goal. Investing it is. Yes, you need an emergency fund. Yes, it's smart to have short-term savings. But the wealthy don't hoard cash, they deploy it. Most people save because it makes them feel secure. They park money in a savings account earning 0.01% interest and call it a day. But that's not wealth building. That's stalling. The 1% treats saving as a bridge, not a destination. Every dollar has a job, and eventually its job is to grow. If you're sitting on 10K, 20K, even 100K in cash, and it's not earmarked for a clear short-term need, you're losing money to inflation. The goal? Build a system where saving automatically transitions into investing. That could mean automating transfers from your checking to your brokerage account once your emergency fund is full, or setting calendar dates every quarter to review your idle cash and reallocate. The point is, holding money isn't the flex. Growing it is. High earners and smart investors prioritize ownership over optics. You won't always spot them driving the newest Tesla or flexing designer gear. But dig deeper, and you'll find something more impressive. Stocks, real estate portfolios, income-generating businesses, they don't just spend money, they position it. Remember, you don't save to feel safe. You save to seize opportunity. So ask yourself, how much of your money is actually working for you? Because Rule 3 is bold. Don't save just to sleep well. Save to invest so you can live well. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far and want more topics like this, comment the word "more" so I know. All right, let's talk about the next financial rules you should follow, but no one talks about. Your network builds your net worth. You've heard the saying, your network is your net worth. But let's be honest, most people still treat networking like a buzzword or an afterthought. The top 1%, they treat it like strategy. Wealthy people know something the rest overlook. Access creates acceleration. Access to information. Access to capital. Access to opportunities. And none of that happens in isolation. The truth is, your environment either expands you or constrains you. And if you're constantly surrounded by people who fear investing, live paycheck to paycheck, or mock your financial goals, you'll eventually shrink to fit. But when you intentionally build a circle of wealth-minded people, the game changes. You start hearing about silent partnerships, tax strategies, private deals, investment clubs. You hear people say things like, "My money made more money this quarter than I did," and it doesn't sound crazy, it sounds normal. Building your network isn't just about LinkedIn or handing out business cards. It's about community. Join forums, attend meetups, subscribe to newsletters by serious investors, comment thoughtfully on social posts, create value before you ask for it. And here's a mindset shift. Don't just look for mentors, look for peers, people on your level with the same fire, because accountability plus shared ambition equals compound growth. Wealth doesn't grow in a vacuum. It grows in ecosystems. This rule goes like this. You can hustle in silence, but you grow in community. And next up, Rule 5 pulls it all together. Because no matter how much you earn, invest, or network, it won't last if you ignore this one thing. Let's wrap with the rule that protects everything you're building. Rule 5. Protect the engine. We've covered cash flow, income, investing, and your network. But here's the truth. None of it matters if your financial engine breaks down. What's the engine? Your mindset, your systems, your protection. The wealthy don't just build, they defend. They use insurance, estate planning, legal structures, and mindset safeguards to keep their wealth intact. You can have $1 million in assets and still lose it all in a lawsuit, a health crisis, or a divorce. That's why Rule 5 is about protection. First, protect yourself legally. LLCs for side hustles, trusts for estate planning, legal shields that create distance between you and your liabilities. Second, protect your mindset. Journaling, mentorship, financial education, because one bad decision under stress can undo years of work. Third, protect your income with insurance. Not the flashy kind, the boring, essential kind. Disability, term life, umbrella policies, the stuff that saves families from ruin. Here's where most people slip. They think protection is optional. But in reality, it's the base layer. It's what allows you to take calculated risks, invest with confidence, and build something that lasts beyond you. And don't wait for money to start protecting money. Build the habit now. A renter with $5,000 saved needs protection just as much as a millionaire with assets. It's not about how much you have. It's about learning to guard what you're growing. A practical first step? Review your insurance coverage this month. Look at where you're exposed legally. Think about who depends on you and what would happen if you couldn't provide. Because Rule 5 is this. It's not just about building wealth. It's about protecting it so you can pass it on. And that's how the 1% build financial dynasties, not just income, not just investing, but a fortress of habits, systems, and protection. So let's bring it home with the 5 financial rules you should follow, but no one talks about. These aren't theories. These are the building blocks the top 1% use to build wealth that lasts. Track every dollar like a CFO. This is your personal P&L statement. Know where it's coming from and where it's going. Every dollar has a job. Build income streams that grow like equity. Don't just earn, build. Create something once that pays you forever. Assets are the new salary. Save only as a bridge to invest. Cash sitting idle is cash losing value. Turn savings into soldiers. Send them out to work for you. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. Your circle determines your ceiling. Get in the right room, and your mindset, habits, and net worth will rise to meet it. Protect the engine with legal and mental safeguards. You're building a machine. Now protect it. Guard your assets, your mindset, and your legacy. This isn't about chasing overnight success. This is about choosing systems over shortcuts, discipline over dopamine, long-term over likes. Which rule hit home for you today? Drop it in the comments, and let's build smarter together. If you found this video helpful, I highly recommend watching my next video, which is the perfect complement to this one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to leave your comment below. I appreciate your support, and I hope to see you in my next video. Until next time, remember, wealth isn't found. It's forged. One smart decision at a time. We'll see you in the next one.